Okay, let's get rolling here. So, chance discovery there of the 60 car sign. So we're 60 car lengths from James. Wow, it's warm. Still, it says it's 19. Oy, feels way warmer than that. Compared to this morning, I swear, my hands were numb. It was so chilly. And now I'm like sweating. Next weekend, if things don't change, it's not supposed to be particularly warm, right? Like, I think, depending on where it goes, this area here, so west of the city, west of Lake Superior, it's always warmer, right? The lake moderates, right? Warms things up in the winter, cools things off in the summer. So it's always warmer here away from the lake, and in the summer, or at least in the warmer months. And so at one point I saw a forecast that was saying that it was supposed to be 30 here tomorrow and the next day. Some say less, some say like 26, 27. But then next weekend, they're saying it's like 10. I saw one that said 7. So there's supposed to be a considerable cool off. So we'll have to see what happens next weekend. Kind of a little bit more of an upland area here, less, well, maybe not as much swamp. This condition was perfect for this area with there's not really any cuts and things like that, so you don't have to worry about the sun causing issues with visibility on some of the rock cuts and cuttings or anything else that you might want to look at. Oh, my butt's getting sore in the saddle here. Doesn't help that I'm pulling the dog. And we're kind of going uphill here. There's a little incline here. And it kind of levels out a bit. You can see another logging road here. You see all the cutting that they've done. It looks like they replanted. So that's been cut for a while. Oh. Another telegraph pole in there. Just trying to see if we see any more signs. That's kind of a neat find. It's so weird. I'm actually coasting now. So weird that, you know, we're kind of blasé about telegraph poles, because normally, like, that's kind of a big deal to find a standing one. But here they're so common that we're actually more concerned about seeing some signage on them. Maybe even a milepost marker. That would be cool. That's very helpful. So, if you haven't heard me say, this line is one of the tricky things, is trying to figure out the mileage on this line. Again, with the absence of milepost markers, it's really hard to kind of know exactly where things are, because there is a huge list of spurs on this line. Like, between last year and this year, I tried to compile all of the spurs on this line, and I think I got most of them. There's a bit of a spot there. So I have the 1908 employee timetable, I have the 1915, I have the 1918, and then 1918 on from there. So there's obviously between 1908 and 1915, and then from 1915 to 1918, I'm missing some employee timetables. So it's really hard to know if there's some stuff that is going on in terms of spurs and things like that I may have missed. We do have one coming up here where I have no documentation of it. There was clearly something there, but I don't know. So It's really hard to figure out mileage on this line because the names of the lines change so often, and the mileages changed so often when the names changed. And then obviously there was a big change when part of this line was abandoned, right, and the line was shortened. And so, you know, for example, what you'll do is you'll go to one station and you'll sorry, I want to show you this so you can see this log popping up out of the ground due to the frost. So what you'll do is you'll go to a station and you'll subtract the new mileage from the old mileage, and you kind of see what the difference is. And then you'll go to the next station and you'll do it, and it'll be a different number. And then you go to the next station, you get a different number. So I've had numbers ranging anywhere from 28 to 30 mile difference in the two lines, the original line to the Graham subdivision. So it makes it really tricky to sort of figure out where things are, just because there's discrepancies, and there's a perfect, and even trying to go from station to station, there's the discrepancy. So there's a spur that's up here, and so what I did was trying to figure out where it is. I measured the distance from James to where I thought it was, and then I measured the distance from Kelly to where I thought it was, and they bring it to different spots. So there's some inaccuracies there with the mileage and everything. So it's very frustrating. And I'm very particular. I want to try to get everything right and correct. Okay, let's zip you ahead a little bit here. All right, so we're coming up to our next feature here. Oh, butt sore. So this is the mystery feature, because I have no idea what this is. So it's clearly, you can see it on the satellite imagery pretty well, but it really shows up well on the LiDAR imagery, right? So again, if you don't know what LiDAR is, basically stands for light detection and ranging. Basically, it's a laser image of the ground, and it penetrates the vegetation to basically show you what the ground looks like. And oftentimes you'll see a lot of man-made features. Like, for example, they've used LiDAR in, you know, jungles and things like that. And they've been able to see, like, you know, lost temples in the jungle and you know, things like that. So it's really soft in here. It's very wet, and you sink in. So let me pull up to here, because there's something on that side we got to take a look at too. So here you can see there's big timbers here, and again, I have no idea what the heck was here. You can see it's obviously since been flooded. The beaver's done a job on here. So where are we? So this would be roughly milepost 69.37 on the original line, more or less about 40.37 on the Graham sub. And there's something here, right? Like, there's something clearly here. You can see this sort of indentation, this bumped out area here. You can see the telegraph poles are on the other side. Now the problem is, what was here? No idea, right? Because I don't have any documentation. Nothing shows up on any timetable that I have. So what was it, right? Was it, you know, pre-1915? Was it something that was done when the railway line was constructed? I don't know. Now, we do have another feature here, and we saw that one of these earlier on the east side of James. So you'll notice that there's kind of a creek coming through underneath the grade, and then it goes off to the south. But notice how it is dead straight, and I'll show you a zoomed in view of that. So what has happened here is basically, this is another example, and we're going to see a couple more of these where they have done ditching work, and they've essentially run this ditch way to the south, and I think this is to basically pull water away from the railway grade here, is because it is so low. Now the beavers built a dam over there which has restricted the water flow. That's why it's all flooded here. But in any case, what I'll do is I'll show you that LiDAR image and you could see whatever the heck that this was, and then I'll show you the topographic map and you can see that waterway running dead straight to, well, kind of to the south, I guess. All right, here we go again. So, again, very soft in through here. I think there's some wet spots up there. And just keeping an eye on those telegraph poles and see if I see any signage or anything. Oh, it's warm. Hopefully the dog is okay. I'm sure she's going to need some water when we get to the truck. What are we done here? 30K. Whew. I'm getting my workout today. So here you can see some of the work that the beaver has done. And up here you can see it's all wet as a result of it. Those pesky beavers. Trying to see if there's any signage. Our musical accompaniment again. All right, so as you can see here, as I mentioned, very wet through here. Again, as a result of the beaver here, and you can see that they've most likely thrown some more gravel down. Maybe it's kind of sinking a little bit. Oh, what is on the road up there? There's something on the road up there. Oh, this is not easy to pedal through. No signs. Definitely something on the road up there. Okay, let's zip you ahead. Maybe we can get close enough to see that. Probably birds before they disappear. All right. So we're kind of at the end of this flooded section here, and we're gonna hold up here. I'll check the battery, and then we'll just keep plugging along here.